Welcome to EpicBookworm. My name's Danny and today I'm going to be reviewing Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Ready Player One describes a bleak future ravaged by mass poverty and climate change. The only escape available to the world's population is a virtual reality video game called The Oasis, on which the world becomes entirely dependent. When the Oasis's creator dies, he leaves behind a complex virtual scavenger hunt. Whoever completes this hunt and finds the hidden Easter egg will inherit the entire Oasis fortune, as well as majority ownership of the company which runs it. This story follows Wade Watts, an impoverished teenager who is determined to do just that. Despite the primarily positive reviews most readers seem to give this book, I wasn't at all impressed with Ready Player One. To his credit, Cline was quite clever in bringing what he knows, that being obscure 80s geek culture, into relevance in a dystopian future. But to be honest, I don't have much else positive to say about this book. In this book, Cline several times indulges his own interests at the expense of his audience. This book is overflowing with lengthy lists of films, TV shows, video games, books and music, which quickly become monotonous slogs. Every few chapters, Cline will pick a video game, film or other item of media from the 80s and engage in a long-winded digression, which usually proves to have little to no relevance to the plot. Ready Player One completely ignores the literary principle of Chekhov's gun, which states that every scene, every conversation, every object in a book must have a purpose, a way in which it moves the plot forwards. But there's just so much stuff in this book which could have been easily omitted without any negative impact on the story. Even though it runs the risk of making a book seem dated, I'm not against using pop culture references in a fictional context. When used correctly, they can do a good job of making a tale seem realistic, but this book takes it way too far. Ready Player One is so full of them, they completely overwhelm the plot. I don't feel like Cline wrote this book because he had a story to tell, but more as an excuse to talk about his own personal interests. Once you strip away the thick layer of 80s nostalgia, the story becomes neither clever nor original. It comes across as a fairly generic scavenger hunt story, with the added flaw that the reader has no hope of solving any of the clues. The main characters showed some potential to be interesting, but Cline clearly didn't prioritise character development. The romantic subplot in particular struck me as incredibly cliché, more suited to a YA novel than an adult audience. On the plus side, Cline has come up with some strikingly realistic insights into what this dystopian Earth would look like. But since the majority of the story takes place outside of the real world, these insights never see as much daylight as they deserve. If you were a nerd in the 1980s, you will probably love Ready Player One. But if, like me, you weren't even born then, all this book has to offer is a distinctly mediocre story and a lot of unrealised potential. My overall rating for Ready Player One is 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, click here to check out another one you might like. And speaking of likes, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, share this video with your fellow bookworms, and subscribe to catch all my new content as soon as it comes out. Also, why not leave me a comment below about what book I should review next?